I'm LJ Malone, and welcome back to our online series titled How to Pray. This week we'll be looking at the method of centering prayer. Centering prayer is a method that leads towards contemplation. And contemplation is the laying aside of thoughts and opening to God beyond thoughts and all emotion in mystery. We don't resist our thoughts and feelings. We don't repress them. We don't repress them or suppress them. We accept them as they are. And we go beyond them. Not by effort, but by letting them all go by. We open our awareness to the mystery of God, whom we believe is one with us. We don't try to feel anything, reflect about anything, or judge anything. So without effort, trying, judgment, we sink into the mystery, letting everything else go. No thinking, no reflecting, no judging. Rest. Be quiet, be still, be silent. Sink into the mystery. This form of prayer is taught by Jesus, and he teaches it most directly in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 6, when he says, when you pray, go to your inner room, close the door, and pray to your Father in secret. So for Jesus, prayer is about ever-deepening levels of silence. When we enter the inner room, he's talking about the silence of external noise. When we close the door, he's talking about the silence of thought and the silence of the internal dialogue we have with ourselves all day long. And when he says, pray to your Father in secret, he's talking about sinking into the silence of God. Centering prayer is a way to implement this teaching of Jesus on secret prayer. So centering prayer is a way of communing with God beyond all thoughts. We use a sacred word to consent to God, whom we believe is within us, in our center. The basic attitude is, whenever we become engaged with our thoughts, we simply, promptly, and gently return to our sacred word. Now, there are 4 guidelines for centering prayer. Guideline 1. Choose a sacred word as the symbol of your intention to consent to God's presence and action within. So we choose a word of 1 or 2 syllables. It could be any word, a religious word, a non-religious word. Either is fine. There's no right word or wrong word. The word is but a symbol, and it symbolizes your consent, your yes to God. Guideline 2. Sitting comfortably and with eyes closed, settle briefly and silently introduce the sacred word as the symbol of your consent to God's presence and action within. So sitting comfortably, something like this, and with eyes closed. And then you begin to say the word. But you just introduce it. That's it. Because there's no expectation here of repeating the word over and over and over. It's not a mantra in that sense. You use it when you need it. And this leads us into guideline 3. When engaged with your thoughts, return ever so gently to the sacred word. Notice, it's not whenever you have thoughts. You can have lots of thoughts going through your mind. But when you start thinking about your thoughts, return ever so gently and promptly to your sacred word. So you can have what other forms of prayer might call distractions. There's no such thing as a distraction in centering prayer. In that sense, it's very laid back. What they are, thoughts, they're invitations to return to God. So they're inevitable. They're going to be there, your thoughts. They're normal, and they're a part of the prayer because they help to get out what's within us, removing obstacles to God's grace in our lives, God's grace deep within us. And guideline 4, at the end of the prayer period, remain in silence with your eyes closed for a few minutes. And this is to get reacclimated to our normal consciousness. So there's basically a system in place to handle thoughts. And people who teach centering prayer call it the 4 R's. Resist no thought, let them come. Retain no thought, don't hold on to any thought. React emotionally to no thought, because the thoughts that really have a hook for us tend to be emotionally charged. But if you do any of that, return ever so gently to your sacred word. Otherwise, simply remain in silence. And this is the prayer of interior silence. Disregarding all your thoughts, resting in God in pure faith. Withdraw your attention from the ordinary flow of thoughts in your mind and just be quiet. And allow the mystery of God, our oneness with the mystery of God, to become real. The minimum time for this prayer is 20 minutes, and it's recommended that you do it twice a day. Maybe one in the morning and one in the late afternoon or early evening, maybe before dinner. It seems daunting, but I assure you that once you try this, once you commit yourself to it, and then again, it's not for everybody, but if you do decide to commit yourself to it, it is a journey that will lead you towards transformation and ultimately realizing you are one with God, and that is our happiness. So thank you for being with me again, and I look forward to sharing again with you more methods of prayer next week. Thank you.